5.
Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and just get started. See other people join in and ask questions as they come in. So if you've got any questions, just leave them on the YouTube page as a comment. We'll be refreshing every 30 seconds or so. Respond to those as they come in. But we can start and just tell you how our factory visits went last week. We took a big tour. So we flew down to Shenzhen, which is a big tech center of China, and we saw 3 battery factories. One is the one that's producing our batteries, and 2 are kind of plan B, just in case anything were to go wrong. We can divert some production over there, or if we need to overproduce, anything like that. But just the quality at these battery factories was incredible. It was nothing like we've ever seen before. I mean, we're talking, it was like out of James Bond. You go in there, there's machines with lasers, doing laser joints, solder joints, everything pretty much automated. And then they had line after line after line producing batteries. So we're super excited. The batteries are being laser printed right now, and they're gonna start producing this week the 13 amp batteries, next week the 17 amp batteries, and those will be done in about 5 days. So really exciting there.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's one of the biggest battery manufacturers in the world, certainly one of the most advanced. We did quite a bit of research through different manufacturers, and we came up with this one. It's supposedly top 3 highest tech battery manufacturers in Asia. It's more advanced than anything they've got in Japan and stuff, where you traditionally think is the highest technology. But that's why so many Western companies go to this battery manufacturer. They produce batteries for Epson, Bosch, Motorola. So it's incredible, state of the art. Like Rob was saying, all the employees are wearing, you know, their full anti-static suits and stuff, and yeah, just super professional. It's absolutely amazing. We were blown away. Unfortunately, we begged them to allow us to take video in there, but they just would not move it. They wouldn't budge an inch. So we took a video upstairs in a different area. Wasn't quite as high tech, and we still got in trouble for posting that because even that was, still, advanced equipment, but stuff downstairs was just never seen anything like it. Amazing. So we've got so much confidence in those guys, and now thanks to you guys, we can. We've placed a decent size order with them, so they're working really closely with us, and they're well on board, and just trying to speed everything up for us, which is fantastic news. So all in all, an absolutely fantastic trip. I think we're going to kick off playing a video. We can do that.
We'll try. We're having all sorts of technical difficulties today.
See how it goes.
This Google Hangout doesn't seem to be working with the video right now. So we can try that again in 5-10 minutes. We've got a bunch of questions showing up now, though, on YouTube. We'll post a link here in a second on YouTube so you guys can watch that. But yeah, Benny asked, do they use a clean room at the battery factory? Absolutely. I mean, before we went in, they had us suit up. You saw the purple suits, static foot protectors, everything. And I mean, it was super clean. We had to go through metal detectors and everything to get in. They patted us down to get into the factory.
It was more like an operating room, wasn't it? Rather than the factory. Is mind blowing.
Yeah. So as he said, they didn't let us film in there, but in the video, that was some video from some of the other factories. Someone asked what happened to the original battery factory we showed during the campaign. That one was very good as well, but their production capacity and quality isn't as high as the ones we visited. So, I mean, just the most state-of-the-art advanced one is what we want to use. They're producing for major guys. I mean, HTC, the biggest cell phone manufacturers in the world, are making their batteries there. So we decided to go with the best thing we could find.
So any recent tweaks? No, everything's exactly as we've told you now, guys. we were happy with the logo. We got a good response from the new logo. Apologies to anyone who wasn't completely on board with that. I think it will look fantastic. The reason we ended up choosing a single color on the right hand side of the down tube was primarily because originally we were going to put a decal on the battery, which you'd see on the left hand side. But we were worried about the longevity and the durability of it. We didn't want it peeling off. We didn't want it being able to be scratched and stuff. So we sourced this manufacturer, and what they can do, they can laser etch the logo on the side of the battery, which is incredible. It's so tough, so durable. It doesn't scratch in the slightest. Amazing. But the only downside to that was they could only do that in a single color. And we just thought it would look odd, if the logo was different colors on either side of the bike. So that's why we chose the same color. We had quite a few people saying, they're disappointed because there's going to be no red on the bike, and we're really sorry about that. But the latest thing, we have done, the latest tweak, if you will, we're still going to use the red F on the head tube. So, bit of a compromise, and I think that's going to look absolutely fantastic. It's still going to have, this F on it. So that's going to bring some more colour into the bike, but, it will look absolutely outstanding. It's going to look like a fantastic bike. We won't let you guys have anything that we're not, 100% satisfied with.
Back to questions here. We're just answering a question about the quick charge. These bikes typically come standard with 2 amp chargers, which is just the norm. We've paid extra money to get 3 amp chargers. They're like 3 times more expensive, but it will charge the batteries a bit quicker. I wouldn't call it a very rapid charge or anything. The reason we chose that is because we want to protect the battery cells and extend the battery life as long as possible. With a 13 and 17 amp battery, you've got a lot of capacity, so they'll last a long time between charges. So, if you just charge it up at night, it'll take 5 to 6, maybe 7 hours for the 17 amp max to charge those batteries.
Got one more here. So how are you managing QC? Good question, Barbara. Says, with over 1,000 bikes and a small staff, what's your plan to ensure each one is delivered, working optimally? Yeah, that's a great question. So that we toured so many factories a couple of years ago when we came up with this whole project. We've settled on a fantastic factory in Taisang, and basically their quality control is exceptional. They work with quite a few Western companies. They deliver all over Europe, just big names. So their QC processes are already very high level. They've got complete checklists for every bike that comes off the production line. So internally, they've got a fantastic QC process. But what Rob and me are actually doing to escalate that even further, because obviously QC is always at the forefront Flux ethos. So we're actually going to be living in the factory. We've got a room set aside for us in the factory when we go into full production. So personally, we're going to be inspecting every single bike that comes off the production line after they've done their QC. Before these bikes get boxed up, then we'll be inspecting every single bike. They know exactly what we expect. They know exactly our standards. How detailed, how thorough we are. I think they were a little bit surprised. We've taken it above and beyond their existing customers. But as I say, QC is incredibly important to us. So that's why we're spending so much time in the factory during production. We're looking forward to it. We get on really well with all the guys down there. They're a fantastic team. So it does sound quite bad sleeping and working in the factory, but it's a decently modern factory. So yeah, it won't be a problem for us. We can't wait. We're well excited to do that. So any further updates on the front and rear lights? Yep, the front light has been sorted for a while now. That's going to be fully integrated. Same with the rear light. We've finalised the rear light now. That's going to be, yeah, a decent system. So both will be activated from the handlebars. So yeah, that's a great addition, great system we've got in place there.
Yeah, so Michael asked about the compatibility of the wheel set. The bikes are designed to work, 90%, 80–90% of the components with existing components out there. So the wheels, everything is exactly the same as you would find at a bike shop. The biggest wheel size or tire size you can get is a 2.35 inch width with these bikes. We're running with a 2.1, I believe, on the Attack and Trail. So Michael, for your Attack, if you wanted to go a little bigger, you could, but not a fat tire. Maybe sometime in the future. But yeah, you can customize it, pimp it out however you like it. Send us some photos.
So Betty said again, I think is regarding to the new battery manufacturer, won't that delay production? Certainly not. The complete opposite. These guys are absolutely fantastic. Their production capacity, as Rob mentioned, is quite a bit bigger than the last one. So in fact, it's actually bringing production forward. The plan at the moment, the latest date we've got, we're going to go in about a week to 10 days. So yeah, we brought that forward a couple of weeks. So that's great news. Everything's ready to go. We've got all the major components already at the factory. Just a couple of components coming to the factory now. But our main factory has completely cleared their schedule for us. So we'll be the only bikes that are being manufactured during that space. So we've got the capacity to produce 100 bikes a day. So as soon as we start getting cranking, then, hopefully we can produce all the bikes. That's, nearly 1,200 bikes in 2 weeks. So, and then going forward, it's going to be fantastic, reducing lead times and stuff. So yeah, these guys, they've been producing bikes for years. There's not going to be any complications there. It should be a really fluid, smooth process.
Yeah, so just expanding on that, the production, you could say it's already started. As you saw, we were in the motor factory. They're building those out. What we've been planning is for the assembly of the bikes, because we have very long lead times on some of the components. Some are coming from Taiwan, different countries, with lead times as long as weeks. And so we plan to have them all converge at one date and start production or assembly as soon as those arrive. And so we had a bit of a surprise when we went down. The motor factory said they were going to be delivering in August 6th. And the reason we went down there, part of it was to go and talk to them and Pete, slap the boss around a bit. No, we were nice. We had a good dinner, as you saw, and just talked with them about the project and our backers and how important it was that we shipped on time, and they were able to reorganize it so that we get the motors on the 15th of this month, about 25 days before they previously quoted us. So that's going to allow us to start assembling bikes around the 15th of this month. So we're super excited about that.
Got one question here. Will there be any heating issues on the battery while riding? Certainly not in the slightest. We've ridden these bikes really hard. I was in San Francisco for the last 4 months, or I've been back 3-4 weeks now. Yeah, and I was doing 20-25 miles, quite a few days. I was on the bike every day and absolutely zero heating issues with the battery. You can't even feel it getting warm. So yeah, absolutely no issues there. And these are top of the range cells as well. They're used to handling a way higher output than what we experience on these bikes. So yeah, the batteries are completely sound. As well as the motor, absolutely zero problems with the motor. This motor is an absolute beast. If you've seen on the video, we do a little quick talk around the motor, and I'd love you guys to see one stripped down, because yeah, it's a pretty special piece of kit. All the components involved are just seriously well manufactured, and you know, it's absolute precision engineering down to all the ball bearings and the clutch. And yes, that's the reason why we went with the motor. You know, we looked at a load of different options before we settled on this one, and this one is fantastic. And now we've got a super relationship with the factory after getting semi-naked with them over dinner. It's really funny. Yeah, they're good guys down there as well.
So just a couple quick questions on shipping and logistics. How long will it take? Where's it shipping from? So we'll be shipping the U.S. bikes by container from a port in China to the U.S. That process should take about 15 days, maybe 20 max to clear customs, at which point we've got a freight forwarder, fulfillment center that's going to take all the bikes, and they will be shipping them out individually via UPS, most likely, straight to your door. So we expect 25 days or so, maybe 30. It is our first time shipping bikes to the U.S., so we'll see how it goes, but we don't expect any major delays there. Somebody asked about the motors. You saw the Gen 2 motor in the factory. That's the one we've chosen to go with. Originally, you may have seen the electric bike review video where we mentioned the Gen 3 motor. The motor factory was telling us about it, and we were excited to try out the torque sensor motor, but there were delays in getting that sample to us, and also we found out that, one, you wouldn't be able to use a throttle with the Gen 3 motor, and two, you can't get the power as high with that motor because it's got some sensitive electronics inside. And so with the Gen 2, we've been able to make a custom firmware to get the peak power from 540 watts up to 650. With the Gen 3, it would be stuck at 540. And for us, you know, the power is a really big thing, and we prefer the ride experience with that. So all the bikes will be Gen 2.
So actually, just to add to that, actually, it's not really different generations. It's only, a couple of minor changes. So as Rob was saying, you can't use the throttle. It would have also been a torque sensor, but, we've tried both, and we way prefer cadence. It makes it way easier to ride the bike. It gives you a lot more assistance when you need it. So we way prefer that. This one is, you can hit higher speeds because it's a more torquey motor, the Gen 3, but that's only because it's geared differently. So basically, it wouldn't achieve the same top speeds, and for us, it's a no-brainer. The Gen 2 it makes more sense. It's a better all-round system.
No, Benny, the final motor is cadence sensing. Can you board a plane with this battery? Yes and no. We've done it. You may have to get creative. The maximum watt-hour limit on that is 150 watt-hours. But if you had to, I'm sure you may be able to think of ways to take it with you.
We don't condone that. So the answer is no. You're not allowed.
What I mean is special permits, of course.
Yeah, not allowed to actually take the battery on a plane. But I believe you can still get it air cargo, shipped, transported. Give us some more questions, guys. We've got one. The frames, they're going into production ASAP. That's going to be next couple of days. We had a few issues with trying to get everyone to respond and tell us what colours they wanted. But we've got the overwhelming majority of people responded to that now. So we've placed the final colour orders, and yeah, they're gonna happen in the next couple of days. We've got a detailed production timeline of when everything needs to get done, what times and stuff, and so yeah, that's pretty close to the start, and that's going to be happening soon. But that's a quick process. As I say, they can produce these frames in large numbers, so yeah, that's not an issue. They go through 2 heat treatment processes, which is pretty cool. T4 and a T6 process, and they can do that in large numbers. So that's going to be happening really soon.
Yeah, so somebody asked, will the anti-theft device be shipping out with the bike along with the other accessories? That is the only accessory that will not ship in the box with the bike. They're based in the US, and they'll be shipping all of theirs to the US. So we've handed off all of the orders that come with that, and they'll be shipping them straight to your door. So Alan had a question, what's the warranty on the motor and battery? For the whole bike, we've got a 1-year warranty. If anything should have a defect or fail for some reason, we haven't had any issues with that yet. You can give us a call or email us, and we'll be able to ship you out replacement components for that free of charge. Most of them you may be able to replace yourself, or any competent bike shop will be able to handle that. The whole bike is designed pretty much plug and play. So, I mean, even if the motor were to go out, and we haven't had any yet, you'd be able to remove that in half an hour, 45 minutes, plug it in, get the new motor sorted, and be on your way.
So yeah, but a final picture of the attack. The latest content we got of the attack is the video that Rob did. He did a talk around the attack. So the next one we'll be able to show you is the one that comes off the line. We'll take photos, but you'll be receiving your bike really quickly after that happens. 20-25 days, hopefully somewhere in that order. So yeah, but I mean, the only difference is from that just going to be the gears, the front chain ring, and I think that was it from the video that Rob showed you. So it's going to look pretty much identical. Yep. So will there be a water bottle on the attack? So what we're doing, not enough space inside the frame. So on the roadster and the trail, we've got the water bottle cage mounted in the traditional place on the seat tube. Not enough space with the dual suspension, so we're going to put the water bottle mount under the down tube. It's a fairly common thing. There's quite a few manufacturers do that, and it works fine. One of the biggest reasons we're going to put those mounts there as well is so people who've got the attack, they can still purchase the boomerang, still use the boomerang GPS device on the attack.
Yeah, so somebody asked about the fenders, the look of the fenders. It's kind of funny, we actually went to the factory, and when we were there last week, we saw the fenders that we had ordered. They'd actually all come in, and they weren't what we were expecting. They seemed kind of flimsy and cheap, and it's tough because we ordered all these, but we decided, we can't ship the bikes with those fenders. We wanted something really high quality, so we've sourced another fender bender. We've got another set of fenders. It's much better. On the roadster, it'll be it's a flexible metallic fender with brackets to mount. So pretty common style. But as soon as we get those on a bike, we'll shoot out pictures of it. You guys can take a look.
Yeah, what's it called? Chromoplastic, isn't it? The new ones.
Right.
And I'm not a big fender fan traditionally, but these look good on the bike. I'd probably use them myself on the roadster. Yeah, they look pretty special, certainly. And they're so, yeah, as Rob said, half aluminium, half plastics, are really sturdy, really durable.
Yeah, so if anybody wants a deal on 400 sets of fenders, plastic fenders, let us know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
50% off.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wear that cost and stockpile them. But that's just because obviously we want these bikes to be as great as possible for you guys. So obviously more than willing to do that. But still, if you want to buy them, please.
Okay, so we've got a question about the max speed for the motor being adjustable or not. So for most laws, for example, in the US, 25 is the max speed that you can go with the motor. They are adjustable. It takes about 30 seconds or 1 minute. You can program it to comply with your local laws. So for example, the UK Europe bikes, will be shipping those with a 25 km/h limit to comply with those laws. And if you've got, local ordinances, whatever, you can customize that. And we've also made changes to the display so that you can change the max speed to pretty much anything you want. So if you were at a racetrack or private property and you wanted to set that to 30 or 35, you could do it. And the max speed you can actually go will depend on, how much pedal power and how much motor power you can put into it. Typically, we can hit 30 miles an hour, no problem.
The fenders on the, so it's Benny again saying the fenders flat black or matte. The fenders on the road, the trail and the attack, they're going to be matte black. And then the fenders on the roadster, they're going to be gloss black. They've got two little silver pinstripes in them, which look really smart. So the fenders on the trail. So someone said, what about the fenders for the trail? Are they still coming, or have those orders been cancelled? No, they're still coming. We never had a problem with the fenders for the trailer attack. So they'll be shipped with your order, attached to your bike. And yeah, they're cool. They look great. They've never been a problem, never been an issue. Okay. Yeah, Benny said, where's that just going? So if the water bottle cage is under the down tube for the attack, then you'll need fenders, but you can do. I don't think you necessarily definitely need them. Yeah, certainly if it's really muddy and stuff where you ride, if you're just constantly doing off-road and stuff, you can do. I still wouldn't bother personally, but it is an option, certainly. Purely down to you, Benny. So we're up to 64 viewers. Hoping to get a few more questions in. So there is one big announcement we've got to make, guys. There is so much stuff to consider when you start up a new company. We're a massive mountain bike that haven't got into it, so all our focus initially was on designing this bike and making the bike as awesome as possible. And then, taking is running the business and getting the word out to all you guys and doing the Indigo campaign and everything. So I'm sure quite a few of you got experience this with companies, starting companies, maybe, I don't know, but I can tell you there's a hell of a lot involved. So we settled with the name Flux. We did quite a bit of research on it when we first made it. Loved the name. And then fairly recently, we were contacted by someone in Europe who shares the same name as us, FLUX, and they're related to bicycles. And so there's a bit of a trademark issue there. So yeah, a little bit disappointed by that, but the solution we've come up with, we're going to change the name Flux to FLX, which looks cool, you know, looks great on the logos and stuff, and it looks fantastic on the bikes. Yeah, that's what we've had to do just to make sure there's no trademark issues or anything involved with that. That FLX name and the logo, that's been we've applied for the trademarking for that internationally now, so that's completely locked in. We think it's cool, you know, it makes it sure, it looks better on the bike in our opinion. You guys will know we're still Flux, but legal reasons, change it to FLX.
So on that, you know, with FLX, one thing to getting the bikes into all the countries around the world, we want to make sure there's no issues getting through customs and stuff, because there are some Fluxes that want in New Zealand, Germany. So we want to just make sure that all the bikes can get in, and more importantly, for the long-term survival of the company. You know, everybody asks us, are we in this for the long run or not? I think there should be no question on that, but we want to avoid any legal complications or expensive litigation that could really drag down the future development of Flux, or even, you know, stop us in our tracks. So this adjustment will be great for us because we'll have trademark protection worldwide. We'll be able to continue with retailers, get stores up and everything, and not have to worry about facing potential lawsuits or anything like that.
But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys understand. I mean, so the you know, the main thing about this company, you know, is the bike. It's, you know, it's a fantastic bike, and you know, I hope you're going to be on board with the logo, the new name and stuff. But you know, for us, that is a bit of a secondary factor. The most important thing, you know, at the moment is, you know, these bikes are awesome. We've developed, you know, fantastic bikes, and yeah, hope the name sits with you well as well. We think it looks cool, FLX.
Yeah. So we'll be in the coming month, you know, in July, slowly transitioning over to using the new name FLX. New website will be flx.bike. We'll post it on Indiegogo, Facebook, make some formal announcements, press releases. So this month, expect to see that new logo. Is almost exactly the same, a little bit cooler.
Same F still.
We think same F,
which is Flux. You know, that's
right.
That's the brand.
We'll start that transition process, and, you know, bear with us. We appreciate your patience on that, but that's what's happening. So a couple other questions here. Will the new battery weight be the same as the old one? It is exactly the same battery, so they're made to the same specifications. We haven't changed any of the battery cells or the engineering, the designs at all. Everything's exactly the same. They all be 6.8 pounds. With this new factory, they'll just be able to make them with more standard, much higher quality control systems in place, and they'll be able to make them faster because they've got huge capacities. We can make 200 batteries a day at the new factory versus about 200 a week at the old factory. So that will really speed up our production, and they're already in production right now. Like we said, we expect them to arrive next week.
So yeah, guys, so our next step, we're looking to go down to the factory on around the 13th or so, and then hopefully go to production a couple of days after that, full production. So we're gonna be there, and, you know, plenty of time before everything happens. We've also got some cool news as well. We're actually relocating to Shanghai. So at the moment we're in Beijing. That's where we're now. And, you know, it's still so easy to communicate to the factory and everything, and it's a short plane ride down there, so that's where we frequently visit. But the move to Shanghai puts us within an hour drive of the factory, so, you know, we'll be there constantly. It's a good job we get on so well with those guys, because yeah, we're gonna be there loads. But it's just fantastic, you know, any problems whatsoever, and we just the road, and we're there within an hour. So there's not many not many companies that, you know, are afforded that luxury, especially, you know, manufacturing over here. So that's just going to be absolutely amazing for us. You know, we've got a great situation at the moment in terms of communication and stuff, and it's awesome. But this is gonna take it to the next level.
Yeah, we're extremely excited about that because the area bordering Shanghai, like Pete said, it's an hour drive, if not faster, the way we ride. Anyways, it's the most developed bicycle producers in China, if not the whole world. You know, all the bikes are made in there. So we've got tens of factories there producing all different things, frames, wheels, chains, everything produced there. The reason we were able to crank Flux out with this quality and the time we've done it is because we're here and we're able to go to the factories and everything, make adjustments like that in one day. We go down there and solve 10 different problems. Whereas if we were based in the US, it would be an email here and there, take 2 weeks, a month, back and forth, and not really communicate clearly. So we'll be able to really keep on top of the bikes now with that.
Long live FLX. Cheers, Joe. Thank you so much, guys. Like, you know, we're doing, you know, all this for, you know, we just want you guys to be happy, you know, really happy with the bikes and stuff. So, you know, we hate breaking news that we think is gonna, you know, upset you at all, but, you know, we are doing our absolute best for you guys. So we do appreciate the support. Thank you so much for that. So we've got a comment from Greg. How you doing, Greg? You know, Greg's one of our biggest supporters. He's been absolutely fantastic, and Greg was a bit disappointed that there wasn't going to be any red on the bike. There's a few people that were, but Greg is the main reason we put the red F on the head tube. So thank you so much, Greg, for your support. You've been absolutely awesome, mate. So you're saying, yeah, nice one. FLX will be great. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I think it's going to look cool. I mean, we'll show you the logo soon. They're going to be posted on the website, and it does look great. You know, we've taken on a designer now, and what he did mention when he first came here, you know, was the U didn't look great with all the other letters. The other letters worked really well, and this was before we actually decided to make the change to FLX. So those 3 letters together, they look fantastic. So we're really pleased with it.
Yeah, so Greg, to answer that, yes, the change will be on the current production, and we'll shoot out some mock-ups in the show you guys how it looks. We think you'll be pleased with how it looks. Really sporty logo, similar but a little cooler in our opinion. So from Benny, how many bikes did we sell on Indiegogo and the website? We sold 1,100, yeah, 1,200 bikes in total, which was way more than we were expecting. You know, we were hoping for 500 or so. So that's why we've been working so close with the factories and stuff, just to make sure we'll be able to handle those in a timely manner. And with their production capacities and the new battery factory, we're going to be able to produce them all in the same time frame that we expected to produce 500 bikes.
And it's great because what those large numbers do, they give us quite a bit more weight with these factories. So, you know, they're really taking notice of the stuff we're saying now, and they're working a lot closer with us. So that's awesome. That's what we've brought the production forward. So that's how we managed to do that, because, you know, yeah, because they're large numbers, we're bringing them now. So that's fantastic. Thanks to you guys again. All about you guys. You're awesome.
Somebody asked about the rear rack. How will it look? I'm not sure which model you're talking about. For the Roadster and Trail, it's one model, because those have a hardtail frame. And so, you know, it'll be a pretty standard rack, steel, mounted, you know, parallel. It's got a cool spring-loaded back that you can pull up. Say if you had a 6-pack or something to mount on there, it'll keep it in place. For the Attack, it's been more challenging, but we've just received our custom sample for that. at the factory last week. It's really exciting. It's totally custom job, aluminum rack, and it will mount on the seat stays alone. Because the Attack has a soft tail, there will be movement and stuff. So we can't have one mounted point on one piece and one mounted point on another piece where it moves, or else it'll break, obviously. So it'll be all on one solid piece, so there won't be any movement in the rack, and it looks really cool, really sleek. It's got some flat bars in the middle. We'll post some pictures of that as soon as we have them installed on the bike. So expect in 10 days, 15 days max on that.
Give us some more questions, guys. Ask us anything about living out here and stuff, or yeah. We've got one more comment. So we're using Suntour suspension with all the bikes, with the Trail and the Attack.
Right on that. So the Trail is a Suntour XCR suspension. That's an air and coil suspension, and the Epixon is an air suspension. The Epixon is on the Attack, and that's a really sweet suspension. They both have lockout, but the Attack one has a remote lockout on the handlebars. So if you're riding something, you want to lock out the suspension, click one button, super smooth. It'll lock out the suspension, and you'll be able to ride on solid big ground.
So yeah, will we know which number bike we get? We'll have to. Yeah, we're going to try and work on that, getting the bike stamped. Not sure on that one at the moment. So if you'd like that, if you think that's a good idea, then yeah, we'll try and do that. We'll have to see their process with that. Not sure on that one at the moment, Joel. So we'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, so on things like that, we'd love to hear you guys' ideas and get some more involvement with everybody. You guys are Flux. You made this company, and so we'd love to meet you guys personally. If anybody wants to come out to China and visit us, if you're interested in something like that, or some rides, some hangouts, if you've got any ideas on how to manage that or how to set up some communities, please let us know. We'd love to get more involved with you guys. Keep us posted.
That'd be great. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. I thought it was a good video. Roll's been doing the videos recently, and yeah, they've worked out well. But he's saying that don't like the mustache, Nick. What? I'm going into bike production. I need some handlebars for myself.
Sweet. Greg says he thinks about us sleeping on the floor every time he adjusts his sleep number.
Oh, mate, that's hard.
Ouch.
Now there's good conditions in this factory.
When you go to bed, are you thinking about Pete more or me? Have we had any time to hit the trails out there?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're constantly going out on the trails out here. The majority of the campaign video that was filmed over here, and we've got a place called the Fragrance Mountains. We go to. That's the major place we go to. And that's got some extreme stuff. We had a pretty epic adventure when we went out there. The first time we went out, we're looking for the best place to get up this mountain. It's a decent sized mountain. I had to get all the way to the top, and God, the bikes performed superbly. Like it was quite funny. So Rob and me were riding the bikes, and we had a couple of camera guys and a fair bit of camera equipment, but we had to take the bikes to the top, and so we kind of just sailed up, and they kept lugging up behind an hour and a half later, carrying the camera equipment and stuff. But we were just having too much fun, and it was a great couple of days shooting that campaign video. Because it's pretty hard filming a lot of downhill stuff when you're going so fast, and we're filming in 4K, so there's a lot of stuff we had to get right. So we had a lot of retakes. And you know, these camera guys, they were fantastic. But they, you know, if they're making a mistake and stuff, they're like, "Oh, is it alright for you guys to do one more take?" And we're like, "Yeah, absolutely. We're having the time of our lives. It was great fun." But yeah, we've got some pretty cool stories with that. Hopefully, we'll share them with you when you come out, involving driving into Chinese military bases with $100,000 worth of camera equipment in the car and stuff, and got pretty intense sometimes. It was a bit nuts, but good fun.
Pretty scary. Michael asked who's had the worst wipeout riding. It's pretty close. We've had some good ones.
I think it probably just goes down to you. That one on the campaign video to the stack. Rob does all the jumps and stuff, and he hit one jump and he landed really well. Wanted to get a bit more air and kind of got the takeoff a little bit wrong and
sideways through the air. You probably saw that on the campaign video. That was the one.
But the good thing that we took away from that is it was a big impact, really big impact, and we got a blowout on the tire, and that is it. You know, these bikes are just solid. I mean, as Rob said, we have crashed them a fair few times, but that's down to us not being that skillful. But it's, you know, these bikes are just bulletproof. They're absolutely solid. Just kept coming back and asking for more. These bikes are absolutely fantastic. So
we've been hesitant about posting crash footage just because we don't want to scare anybody off. But if you want to see it, let us know. We'll try and put something together.
So someone's asking us about the survey process and your orders. Yeah, we've been working really hard with the back-end database for this, and we've come up with a great system now. We're double checking everything at the moment before we get into production. So really confident with all those orders. You know, everything's working out, linking up together really well. Everything's just falling into place with that. So there won't be a problem with orders and linking them all up.
So guys, we don't want to keep you too long here. We'll just answer a few more questions and then wrap this up. So if you've got anything pressing left over, go ahead, leave a comment, and we'll try and get to it real quick. Just real quick from Benny, are the rims for the Attack tubeless ready? Yes, if you get a tubeless kit, they should work fine with that. We think that's a great idea. We'd love to see what you come up with. From Absolute Adventure, is there much of an e-bike movement in China? Actually, this is where we came up with the idea. We were seeing all sorts of electric scooters and stuff in China, and Pete was thinking, well, what if there was electric bikes? And of course, those exist out there, but what if there was something cool that you'd be proud to ride? And so that's kind of where Flux was born. There's not a lot of electric bicycles in China compared to the amount of scooters and stuff, but they're slowly increasing. They become more popular around the world. So you see that here in China as well. And when we take them out riding in China, it's amazing because there are a lot of cyclists, you know, going up these mountain hills and stuff, and they'll be in the full Lycra suits, and we'll just blow by with no hands or something up a hill. And when they see the bikes, they just love them. And we're not selling them here in China, but so many people, you know, they see it and they say, hey, I want this bike. So in the future, we'll probably look at selling bikes here, but main priority right now is to get all the Indiegogo orders produced.
And yeah, we've got a fair few website orders there as well. So they're all going to get, we're producing the bikes in the order that you purchased them. So the earlier you ordered, the earlier you receive your bike. But as I say, you know, we've got the production capacity for 100 bikes a day. So a couple of weeks, at the moment, 12 days, they're going to be produced really closely together. Which is good.
Yes, I think we ought to wrap it up, but we'll get the whole team in here. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Why don't you all say hi?
Come on in.
I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Saggy.
Doggy.
I might be in contact with you through mail, and I just want to say that I'm very happy to help you. I'm very happy that you're part of the family. That we're here together, and it's so fun now with FLX, but it's just still the same vibe, and we're happy to help you.
Good stuff, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure again. We'll give you an update soon, and can't wait to see you all again. Hope that's answered all your questions. If you've got more questions, just keep posting on YouTube, and we'll answer them. But yeah, nice one, guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for hanging out with us. Let's bring it in, all right?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.